Welcome to the Nomad Studio live stream. For those new to the channel, I'm Nadia, and I like to do very detailed nomad sculpting stuff and painting stuff and a lot of random things and trying to make nomad sculpt tutorials, but it's always a struggle. But I'll try to get better in time. Anyway, I'm quite tired from multiple events and the usual stuff of like trying to increase, like, which is not really related to art or anything, but trying to improve my fitness. And this year I decided to do that by just like being just showing up at the gym or showing up at the track or a treadmill every day and just try to be consistent with it. And I think it's been going really well. I'm just really tired. Like if you listen to one of my live streams, I was talking about, I don't even feel like talking. I also spent the weekend on making a cake. Where is it? You can see this is the sheet of we baked like the cake on one sheet and then I cut it up into the shape. That was pretty fun, but also very tiring. But anyway, I was talking about like I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I was talking about how like whenever I start running that I'll feel like muscle strain on the shin, because the shin is quite a small muscle. And running, I feel like of all the exercises I've tried, maybe running is like the hardest on my shins, just because of like when you land on it and you try to brake, it uses a lot of the shins and hamstrings. So I guess like been running for every alternate day for a month plus, and something that I noticed, and it's not like I'll be running all the time because I'm not that fit yet and I have a lot of chronic injuries, but I would be like running, jogging slowly as much as I can that my injured tendons can tolerate, and then walk the rest of the way and then repeat that. And like I thought I wasn't really doing a lot because I'll probably like run and walk like 3 times on a 400-meter track, which doesn't feel like a lot. Especially when you see people like just running constantly like for 4 rounds or something, and then here I am like jogging slowly and walking and jog and walk and jog and walk in like one track run. But yeah, something I noticed was that like my shins, which used to complain a lot about, like almost instantly hello, no, hello, I'm so sparkly today. So pretty. But it's like the consistent low progressive overload like on my shins over that, I guess, like relatively short period of time. Like now when I start running, I don't really feel this being a problem anymore. So I'm like, yes, progress. I'm so happy. And yeah, I think that with the shins, like if you used to be like me, you don't know anything about running and all that, and then when you look up on shins, like the things that you can you will see is like, oh, you're getting shin splints and like hairline fractures. No, it's just like the muscles being weak. And I don't really feel like my tendons for the shins. Maybe there are tendons here that I'll feel a bit, but not really. But yeah, there's progress. And another progress I made is Chinese New Year was like 3 days, and then there was like kind of like a big family birthday going on in the weekend. That's why I made the cake for my dear future sister-in-law who likes RJ from BTS. And I was like, I'm gonna make a cake for the first time. But I don't really want to make like a round cake. I don't know why. I guess I just like to make life harder for myself. Let me undo the paint. Actually, I have to show you the work in progress. It's so funny. Because I use like chocolate sprinkles to draw the face, and like in some sense using chocolate sprinkles to draw the face is like it's like drawing like this. But then like it's so difficult to not drop the chocolate sprinkles on on the cake. But anyway, one time it dropped like that, and then I just had to stop because I had to laugh so much. And then like strawberry. Yes, I know, it's so adorable. And then my boyfriend was like, why don't you use strawberry jam for the red stuff? Because I was like, should I buy a red coloring? Yeah, strawberry jam is so versatile. And then this is the aftermath. So cute. Brain surgery. And then this is the leftovers. Yeah, I know, a little smirk. It kind of reminds me of Chikawa Usagi. But yeah, it was a really fun but tiring weekend. But what was I saying? Alright, so like usually when there's like Chinese New Year or whatever stuff going on, I find it very difficult to like be consistent with exercise, or like to even exercise, because I'll be like, oh, let's exercise today, and then after the event's over, I'll be like, oh, let's just do it tomorrow. Like, because I'll be so tired from social. And then yeah, I was just like so happy that it's also thanks to my boyfriend like just doing the exercise with me too. But yeah, just really happy that the whole of last week, including the weekends as usual, like I didn't skip any exercise day. And yesterday was just like a really good run on the treadmill. Then I also have like my usual, like if you have known me for a while, like I like to talk about my injuries. But yeah, like there's this quad here that I'm below average flexibility in. So there's a tendon here that pulls and makes the kneecap tight. So it's like the usual stuff that it's progressively getting better. But yeah, just slowly and consistently getting through those injuries. But yeah, really proud of myself. Yes. Yeah, I was getting a bit like kind of the usual like when I post the tutorial and stuff, and when I post like new works, I always feel like I'm not doing good enough or something. But yeah, like just talking about how I managed to do something that used to be so difficult for me, which is like just being there for my exercises, and yeah, just to climb or to run. Yeah, it's a lot of progress. And I need to not forget about it. Anyway, today I'm like really tired. I just talked to you about why I'm so tired. I'm not sure when I will stop being tired, but I'm kind of thinking like I do want to have a goal of like I don't know whether it's impossible. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's achievable. That's the main thing. That's the important part. But I think I probably will go through this cycle until I can run 2.4 km without pain. I think that's one of the goals that I do want to hit, like personal goals. And like I'm not sure whether running 2.4 in like gold timing, like for NAFA standards, I'm not sure whether that's like a impossible thing. But I guess being able to run 2.4 in gold, it feels like a really distant goal to achieve, but maybe that will be something that I want to try and do. And then after that, I can just be like, how to say? It's like, you know how people who are really active and fit since young, and then when they're like in maintenance mode, it's like running 10-20 km. Meanwhile, like my maintenance mode is like running 400 meters without pain. So I think, yeah, just like being able to run like a maintenance mode of like, oh, let's do an easy run of like 2.4 km today. I think that's a good goal to have. But that also means that I'm just going to be really tired during my live streams, including today and all my past live streams. But I'll work hard to get through it as fast as I can. Sorry, running. I used to hate running. Especially on I like running. I like running until I start running. Because all my tendon injuries will start like flaring up. But and like I hated running on the treadmill. So like I think sometime like 2017 or what, I used to be sedentary, and then my first introduction to exercise was, yes, progress is progress. And then so my first introduction to exercising, like to a sport in some sense, is weightlifting at the gym. And I really liked weightlifting at that point because like I guess that's the only exercise which I felt like I could progress, and it was enjoyable because I didn't like to do like HIIT intervals and all that stuff. Then the treadmills are always at the gym, and my boyfriend, he's like why don't you try running at the treadmill, like it's not too hard. But I just find it so difficult. Like I find it so difficult to run on the treadmill for like 1 minute. And like on hindsight, like it really was difficult because like for one, I have all of my tendon injuries, and two is that if your cardio fitness is really low, then like being stationary at one spot and seeing nothing in your like in what is ahead of you, like no changing environment, just like it makes like running 30 seconds on the treadmill like completely impossible. But it's like now that my cardio fitness is higher and I know how to manage my tendon injuries, like when it happens, then I will actively like massage my muscles, and just after that's over, then I keep running. But yeah, like with knowing how to take care of myself and improving my fitness overall, like now I think I can run like the minimum I can run on the treadmill without feeling like I hate everything. Like it's probably like 10 minutes or to 30 minutes, like depending on my mood. So that's like a big jump from like 30 seconds of like the whole 30 seconds of you like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. Anyway, I want to bring this into Blender. So I painted this in the previous live stream, and oh my god. Sorry, I need to fix this. I'm trying to bring this into Blender now. And let me just should I making worse? I think it's not. So there are a few things that I usually prep when I want to bring something to Blender, and one of the things would be fixing validating mirror repeaters. Let me show you in a sec what the mirror repeater looks like in Blender and why I need to fix it. If I can just, I'm not sure that am I making it worse. Hey, thank you for your support. Kind of makes me envious of like people who were fit when they were young, because like it's not impossible to be like your most active self when you're older, but it takes a lot of time. Okay, let me just I think that's good. I'm just adding a little bit of plane changes to painting in the plane changes. It's a little bit difficult to paint in complementary colors without the colors becoming really muddy. So I'm just being careful with what I put in. I always like to talk about share a learning point for every stream. And I guess this whole stream would be kind of like a straightforward sharing. Less like, why am I always so bad at talking about this? But I guess I'll give an extra tip for this stream, which is when I'm painting something like this, and there's like, yeah, it's so detailed. Actually, this leaf looks like that fish. When I'm painting complementary colors on a thing, you can see that the yellows are existing here, and the purples are kind of like here. So you can see it where the boundary, where they meet at these boundaries, that I try not to paint across here, and I'm kind of just trying to press my brush harder on these areas, and then as I get to the boundaries, I kind of like don't press anything at all, and then I use like the softness of the edges to create the blend. Because if let's say if I paint, is this a great way to explain it? Let's say if I keep painting like this to this way, and I'm always pressing the same amount the whole way, like even if it's like 10% or 50%, yeah, they're Barbie wipes. And then this whole area here, let me just remove these. This whole section here would become like will become like this. So what I'm doing instead is to make sure that I'm kind of painting more in different sections like this, and you can see that the areas where it intersects like that, it will naturally blend a bit more together, and that helps to create these shapes here. And this, I find like this is kind of like more important, especially it gets more important like the more different your colors are or your materials are. Because if it's like, let's say this area here, this is a blue purple, and this is like a pinkish purple, like if I have to exaggerate like what the colors are. So if I blend these two together, the in-between colors wouldn't really become super muddy or like grayish. Yeah, I am like pressing harder here, and then over here I'm just pressing like really soft, and then pressing harder here, and then soft here. I'm not sure whether you can even like hear the difference of the brush when I do that. So like right now I'm pressing really softly just to get this shape here that I like. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, I like that shape. And with that, I hope I just cleaned up the paint a little bit more, and that is good enough for me. Anyway, let me show you the Blender file. Oh wait, let me show you what areas are mirrored. Although before that, let me make a new file. So usually when I want to prep my file for Blender, I will duplicate my file. I think the problem is that, okay, let me just do this then. I don't like the way that the save as doesn't really save the files in the folder. I'm not sure if that's a bug. Yeah, it's just how it is. So I always like to save the file as like new, like a decimate and Blender. I like to keep the version number of the file that I'm like overwriting, because like I think that's been quite a few times when I would open a file that I haven't touched for a few months, and then I'm like what's all these version numbers, or like which file am I using as the last one? Yeah, especially if, like, let's say I want to do some experimenting or trial and error on some areas, and then I version up and then it fails or it just doesn't work out. So in this case I had like a version 29 to 30 that I was like, I spent like hours to trial and error or something, and then it completely failed. So 28 is the final version officially. So just keeping the version number and then renaming it to adding the underscore decimate and also underscore blender, for me, just helps me like remember which one is which. Okay. Whenever I feel tired, I'm just like, I wish that I was exercising consistently last time. Then I wouldn't need to spend so much time right now to even like get to 2.4 km. It's so much work to get to a 2.4 km. Let me see. Let me show you. Oh, I added this bird. It's so cute. Let me rename this. I should have renamed it before I. But so I think this one. Wait, is it not? Wait a minute. What's the black if it's not mirrored? Yeah, let me just show you the blender side. Sorry, but I don't know why OBS doesn't want to show my main screen, so this is my secondary screen. Why is it doing this if it's not mirrored then? Yeah, it's hiding the flower. Before I started streaming, I was like, wait a minute, where's the bird? Like, because I like to add birds to my sculpt. And then I was like, this is a good hiding spot for the bird. I don't understand. Is it big? Huh. So I was I was gonna say, like, during the stream that I have to validate the mirror repeater because it creates something like this. But then now I realize that it's not a mirror repeater. What? Yeah, it looks very nice. Oh my god, why is it doing this then? I forgot. I remember. I'll say because I exported with normals. God, this is so annoying. I hope it doesn't crash. I feel like I'm only seeing the arm. And is it both legs? Let me switch off the light first. Is it the... Or is it just this also? Oh my god, I forgot my... What is... Oh, I forgot my hotkey. Oh yeah, shift. So shift click is that one. Yeah, I don't remember like why these... Oh my god, don't crash. Let me see. Why are these black dot? No, it's not that. I feel so out of touch with Blender stuff. Maybe I shouldn't export with normals then. Something is happening. So I have like one here. So the way that I like to see what I have to do for the export is to bring my geometry to Blender, and then now I'm looking at what is going on. But I'm feeling that can I not like, can I do this? No. I'm feeling that I fixed this before. I just don't remember what I did because I fixed it a few months ago. But all these things are not. So instances are fine. Wait, these are not instances. Okay. They're not instances. But probably it's just this one. Why is this? Why are you? Because you're the... Oh, I see. I guess negative scaling doesn't translate that well to, I see. Yep. So I'm going to try to, it's probably all the ones with negative scaling that doesn't work. But I have a feeling that maybe if I export without this, that should be fine. Yeah, okay. I think I remember what I did. I just I don't know why, but I like when I look at this, it says to check this option if I want to open a file in another software. But I think when I did this, it causes all the black stuff for like the negative scale objects. So I'm not supposed to check this. Okay. But hopefully that fixes the stuff. But for now, I want to export out lower poly mesh. And the faster I can do it, the faster I can end the stream. Let me see. Actually, before that, let me just re-export this. Give me a sec. It's taking a while to export. I like to use local send so this is local send. I use it to, oh my god. I use it to export from iOS to Windows. Oh shit. Okay. I realized I should have just used the default view. I keep forgetting to get out of rendered view for Blender. Let me see. Yep. Before I import or do anything stupid in Blender. Well, luckily it didn't crash. Let me save this. Oh, and it's fixed. Yes. Yes, it's fixed. Thank you. Thanks for not spoiling. So let me click on my where is it? You can see I'm like super rusty in Blender. Where's my, oh, this one. I'm using this hotkey to move things into so I have this high poly one, and I'm just creating the lower poly version right now so that I can run like faster lighting tests. Then I'll use the default high poly sculpt to do the final stuff. But yeah, like this was, oh, I deleted. Wait, did I delete it? Did I delete you? No. Oh wait. Oh, I see, it's a lot smaller. So this lighting setup was used for my previous project that I did in Blender. Let me see what size this is. Please don't crash. Yeah, it's quite big. I'm not really sure whether I want to scale this down to, maybe I do want to, maybe just a bit. How do I scale again? I forgot. Oh my god. Holy shit. You know what? I'll just scale next time. I'm so rusty. I think also because I picked up painting in Procreate recently, so that's like another extra thing to learn and to like I want to say like to master, but I feel like it's just so difficult for me to pick up painting. But yeah, the light source is here. Let's see. Yeah, I probably need to scale this down because I think the lighting will look better. I just forgot how to scale. I forgot the most basic thing. Forget it. So I'm just looking at what I can decimate. So normally I can use like the wireframe to see whether or not it's too high poly, and I think a lot of them are. So miscellaneous. I'll start decimating. So I'll start with this one. I'll decimate this. The paint will become a little bit weird because of that, but it's not too bad. I'm not sure whether I guess I can probably leave it alone. So I'll use the paint amount as a guideline to how much I should decimate. The other thing is also to see how much stretching I'll get like this. So you can see somewhere here you can start seeing like the low poly feeling. And sometimes it's, I guess in terms of just using it to test out lighting systems, it's not too bad. But maybe I don't want to go that far. But like something like this, the less detailed the paint is. That's the less detailed the paint is, the what's it called? The more I can decimate. Also, if the sculpt has very little details like this one. Let me see. Like something like the ribbons on the leg like this. I'm not sure whether I can go like lower poly. Hello, White Flare! Welcome back. Yeah, it's looking really nice. So I think the wireframe for this, should I just leave it alone? Let me see. I can't be bothered with organizing the the outline. Let me see this one. Maybe if I can, yeah, I can probably reduce. Yep, okay. I can probably just reduce this thing. And then I'll just look at the size of the polygon. I think that's pretty evened out. I'm just being mindful to, like, let's say this part. If I go too low, then it will start looking like that. Like squarish edges, so I'm trying to avoid that. But in the most part, this one's pretty hidden, so I think that's pretty good. So I recommend doing this kind of things if, like, for one, if yeah, a tired brain is like, I feel so sluggish in a weird way. Because like with daily exercise, I'm like more awake in some sense. But because I'm not doing like a maintenance kind of thing, like I'm always progressively overloading, it's like it feels tired in a weird way. Like initially I didn't want to stream because I'm like, oh my god, I feel so tired. And I was like, oh, maybe I feel fine, but then now I'm feeling like I want to talk about something, but then the sentence in my head just like stops. Yeah, so I would recommend doing something like this if you have like if you don't have enough RAM on your PC and on your device that you're sculpting on. But even if you have RAM, like what I'm doing right now is to create a lower poly version so that when I test out the different lighting positions and like, let me just, if I test out like because I have a bunch of these, can I use this one? Which one is this? Yeah, probably use something with this. I'm just not sure like what I want to do with it yet. So yeah, you can see that it takes a while for it to load. And as much as like I don't mind waiting for things to load up, like this, the it does takes up a lot. It takes up a lot of time, as you like when you do this like 100 times. Like 10 times you don't really feel it, but like 1,000 times you feel it. So after the previous mermaid project I did, the mermaid glimmer, I just kind of want to. I'm kind of curious how it looks like with it. But yeah, like from this one, I feel like I should kind of step up the way that I do my workflow. And I'm just creating a low poly version to speed those things up. So normally when I look at something that I've already decimated and I kind of like it, then I can use this as like the guide for the others to just do things a little bit faster, I think. So I'm just looking before and after by undoing and redoing. And then if I don't see any visible changes, then I just undo and redo again. I mean decimate again, and then undo, redo, undo, redo. So probably something like this is bringing it too far. So I just undo that and I'll stick with this. And usually like at some point I'll see that the size of individual faces, they kind of match up to the others. So at this point for the other stuff, wait a minute, what's this? Why do I have two of these? What? Why are there two of that? And this is also a good time to just spotlight wherever duplicated geometry you have. I need to remember to delete that in my original file. So I'll delete this one, and then I will decimate this. Why is it not decimating? So this one. I thought I delete what? besides doing these, there's nothing much else to explain. I'm just decimating. Just if you're new to decimating, the target triangles, which is like in a percentage count, the target triangles will reduce the amount of polygons to, so right now it's like 31.6 thousand, and if I set this to 50%, it will reduce it by half. And then same thing, that I think if I target like 80%, that means that it will try to keep 80% of that number. So 80% of 31,000. And then if you set it to 20%, it will only keep 20% of that. So let's say if I decimate this one. Let me see. So this one's 31.7. If I decimate this by 50%, then it will just reduce it to 15.8. So sometimes I guess I'll do it more on the skirt. Sometimes like just like doing by 50%, like I will do it too much, but then yeah, if I do it too much, but then I still want to decimate it even more, then that's when I'll adjust this. But for now, it's just really straightforward. Just like, and these are just in the background, so I don't really need them to be really high poly or anything. And they don't really have a lot of paint. So I can probably see the stats first. Where's the stats? So right now it's at 17 million. It sounds a bit nuts, but I'm used to it. And then I'll just see like what you'll get to at the end of this. So these I can really decimate it quite a bit because not a lot of details even in the painting side, and you're just trying to even out the, you can see like this one, like from this to this, it's not a lot of difference. Especially when I look at this angle here like this, and these are supposed to be, those things are supposed to be out of focus like that. You can see how it really doesn't matter how much these are decimated. And doing things like this is pretty chill. You don't really have to think much about it. And when you do this decimating process, you can see how like the previously all these that I haven't touched kind of look like they don't stand out, but then now they stand out. Now they stand out a lot like this, because compared to something like this one is really black with lots of lines, so it looks darker in the distance. So I just just decimate even more, something like this. You can see how this is like super dark. But let me just deal with these first. And when it's done, I can just hide these away. And I just realized that they're all in this group, so I just hide this. And the same thing with this one. Decimate this. Vertex paint is essentially painting a color on one individual vertices. So you can see that when the amount of vertices is reduced, that it will start doing something like this. You can probably just use a smudge tool to blend these colors a little bit more, or just like clean up the edges a bit like that. Something like this. Then it's a lot less like jagged, I think. Yeah, something like that. Because these flowers are close up, I think I'm just going to decimate them a bit less than the ones in the background. But things like the stalk where the colors, I didn't draw a lot of lines to them, I can decimate them quite a bit. Maybe not too much. So decimate these. Yeah, I forgot to look at the bird. Where's the bird? Over here. Okay, so mirror repeaters are fine. I see. I used to think, I assumed that you need to validate all the repeaters. So like this bird has I forgot all my hotkeys. Where is select? No. Orbit around object selection. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me orbit around this one. So I used to think that I think this is custom hotkey. This one is alt this to focus on an object, so that now when I middle mouse button on this, it rotates around this object. So I used to think that radio repeaters or any repeaters in Nomad Sculpt will cause like normal problems in Blender, I think. But it seems alright now. Maybe because I used to click on the, what's that thing called? I used to click on the check box for the normals. So probably if I didn't do that, then I didn't have to validate all the repeaters. But I guess it seems alright now. Like it looks like it's not doing anything weird on this. Because the flower this flower is using a radial repeater. The leaves on the head is using a mirror repeater, the eyes too. So I guess it's fine. There's something like the arms. I'll look away from the wireframe mode because it kind of gets in the way of looking at the details. So I'll probably decimate it. Like ideally I want to decimate these areas a lot more than this one, but I'll just, everything's just like a button click, so it's not too bad. So this amount is actually pretty good, I think. Although I don't really like having very stretched up stuff, so maybe I'll undo it twice, and that's pretty much it. So something like this will be a little bit more, have to be a bit more, I think even something like this, let me try. I think that's not, oh wait, it's connected to the head, I forgot. So head sculpt, there's a lot of details on this. I don't want to lose too much. So probably, and like with the hit sculpt, with any sculpts, I try to keep a little bit more resolution, reduces it by 50%. It feels very satisfying. And then I will decimate again because I don't see any changes. I'm starting to see changes like in these areas here, or this one, but it's not very significant. So I can try again, and it's still not too bad. You can start seeing like these jagged edges here, but in the scheme of rendering in Blender, it's not too bad too. Probably one more time might be a bit too much, or not. Because it's starting to look a little bit like polygonal, so I'll just stop here. And I think I'm happy enough with that density of mesh. Then I'll work on the next one that sticks out a lot. Especially something like this. This is really small, so it doesn't make sense to have them actually 4 times is pretty good. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two. Let's look at the bird. I think this one I can just reduce the post subdivision. I feel like I probably decimated this before. So it's really helpful to have the wireframe hotkey on your macropad for this. Just to like go back and forth with the wireframe. And then when you feel like the wireframe is getting in the way of you seeing how much of the details you're losing, then just hide it away. Let's decimate this one. So I think it's not too bad. Don't see any changes, so I can decimate again. Sometimes it feels like nothing's happening, then I'll go back to wireframe mode and check that I did press that decimate button. And then I'll decimate again. So now I'm starting to see a little bit of changes. So I can go again. 50% maybe is too much. Maybe I want to go a little bit more, but not too much. So 80%. I guess that's not too bad. Like even with 80%, like it went down from like 180k to 150k, so that's pretty good. Let me then I can kind of use this as a guide to how much I want to reduce the others. Well, let's bring this back to 50%. I think in most cases, like, you just want to decimate with 50%. Can see the difference in the density of like this one to this one. It's always satisfying to do this. This is one of the main shot of this project. So let's say if I want to decimate my sculpt for like even for the final renders, what I'll do is to plan out my different camera angles, and then I'm not sure. Wait, let me. Try my cameras here. Where's my oh, Control F. Okay. The scale is not correct. What is panning again? Shift middle mouse. Okay. But is this correct? No, this is the back. Where's the front? Wait, let me find. I think I should have. Maybe this one is good. Like a camera angle like this with something in the foreground. But then this lighting is the wrong one. Maybe if I use this one. It's too bright. I think this one's too bright. Yeah. I guess something like this where the let me just use where are you? Oh my god, I'm so lost. So let's say, wait, really do I want to use this one? Actually, why is there no? Oh, it's here. Okay. Oops. Wait, was it this? I don't remember what is what in this. No. Okay, let me try this one. This is the wrong one. Okay. Maybe I'll just use this for now. So like, let's say if I want a shot with the skirt like this, then I will... Here, everything looks really cool. I feel like every time I bring my sculpt to Blender, I feel really amazed. I'll plan my... what's that thing called? I'll plan my camera angles around my sculpt, and then I'll go back to my Nomad Sculpt file, and I'll be like, this one is at the back, and there are no other camera angles which will show... Wait, will it? Wait, let me see. Are there no other... like, let's say if I want to do a shot where... if I want to do a shot where I can see the bird like this, something like this, yeah, I'll probably see these things. You can see the skirt at the back, but I guess something like this geometry in the middle of them, which is this one, then I can afford to decimate this one a lot more than, let's say, this one, which is one of the main piece of the skirt. But something like this I can decimate quite a bit, because this one, it doesn't have a lot of details, for one thing, and the other thing is that the part with details is quite hidden inside here, which most likely, like, it will be kind of like destroyed by the defocus of the camera. So let's decimate this. And the nice thing about decimation is that it will try to even out the amount of the density of the poly faces at different areas. So you can see, like, this area here, it is like a lot less dense than something like this. You can see this part also. So when I decimate the geometry, it just decimates this part and this part. So over here, there's a lot more decimation happening. So I can keep going. And make sure that I look at the non-wireframe mode too, just so that I can see how it looks like. I can even go into the lit p-bar mode, but then it doesn't really matter in this one. So also this mode is a lot brighter for the screen, because this is a little bit dark. Let me see what else. I haven't decimated in a while, so I'm a little bit rusty. I feel like I haven't done anything in a while. Like, every time I'm doing something different, then everything else becomes rusty. So I'm just going to do like a rough decimation one time, like this. I need to check on the quality of everything, and it's not too bad. Let me see, what did I miss out? This one? No, I did this already. This one. Oh, that's this piece. Oh, this one is one piece with, no, it's its own set. So something like this is really deep. It's a lot lower, more out of frame. So I can afford to go a little bit more on that. The face is fine. The hair, not really sure if I want to. Oh, I can decimate it. Okay. You can see when the paint is not really, like if it's all green, like this case, or like it's just different variations of green. When it becomes very like sharp and jagged, it doesn't really look too bad. Unlike something like this where it's like blue versus yellow, then it really shows up. I can probably go through everything again. So now that I decimated the hair, let's decimate this one. I wish that there's a way for me to hotkey decimate. Wait, is there? Not really sure. But once I decimate quite a lot, then the areas that I decimate earlier would kind of stick out even more. Something like this. So I will decimate these even more. Because now I can see that I really don't need it to be that high poly. Did I decimate this already? I can also look at the what's the thing called? I can look at the outliner to see if I miss anything. So where is this one? It's it's another. Okay, wait, is it? Why is it different when I solo mode this? Don't understand. Why is it so much more? Wait, let me go for a break first. back. You can afford to decimate this more. Now kind of like eyeballing areas that had have more like black areas, which means that the density of the mesh is a little bit too much. So what I can do is to just like increase this again and decimate this just to reduce this a bit more. And I can even go a little bit more, maybe like this, or maybe that's too much. So that's good. I wonder if there's anything else that sticks out. Sometimes you can go for we can just look at the numbers on the right of each geometry. I'm not sure why, like, I feel like it took me a while to realize that there are numbers here to show this, the poly count. So I will look at this, and it's like, wow, this is a lot higher than the others, so let's just decimate that down. Oh wait, let's set this back to 50 and decimate that. So I can't just put everything at the same similar ballpark. Something like this one too. Of course, the bigger the geometry, like this one is quite a big piece, then obviously there's going to be a lot more faces on an object like this, but I can probably just decimate it even more. I think because I'm kind of like incapable of doing a lot of things at one go, then I feel like sessions like this where I'm doing more like just very straightforward technical things, I'm just seeing like straight lines. No, I'm seeing so many straight lines that I didn't notice before. But doing things like this kind of helps me relax a little bit, because it is stressful to feel like I'm just not doing enough. So I can decimate this a bit more. Can decimate this. And this is pretty good. Let me look at the surroundings again. So probably something like this I can really just decimate a lot. Oops, what did I do? So let's decimate this. Something like the hands being further away from, the legs being further away from the camera than the hands will be. especially as something like this where this area is not really that highly detailed, then I can decimate the legs a little bit more. I can probably decimate the foot a bit more. Maybe I don't need to, but I'll probably decimate. Why are you so straight? Oh my god, why? Ideally you want to have some nice curves to the legs like that. But it doesn't matter, it's already done. I'm not sure what the base. Maybe I can reduce it a bit more. Especially the lower one. Maybe something like this. No, this one's looking quite high poly. I don't need it. This one also. Sometimes it's difficult to look at the different, like all these leaves are the same, similar. So I'll just look at the numbers. I guess this one's a bit more. Probably decimate this. I forgot about this one. So I went from 17 to 3 million. Yeah, 17 million to 3 million purchases. So it's a lot of, makes it a lot more lightweight. I can feel already the scene is like a lot easier to rotate around, and it's not, there was like a little bit of lag before I did the decimation, but now it's kind of pretty good. Yep. Now it's going around quite smoothly, and I just realized that this one is quite like straight on. I feel like there's so many things that I always want to that I always spot like later on, but it's fine, it's fine. So I'll just bring this to Blender for a bit before I go. Let's the other benefit of this is reducing the file size, because the OBJ file will be just a lot smaller if you can reduce the amount of polygons in it, which also makes the Blender file a lot smaller too. So you can see like how all these things kind of like compounds. So let me go to Blender and import. Hopefully I can feel the difference. Yeah, so you can see the this one. I kind of thought that there would be quite a big difference, but I guess feeling it, it really does feel like a big difference. A lot more than I expected. So you can feel like there's some lag with this. If this one is like, it just feels so much faster to do things. So I'll probably use the original one. I will still use the original one to do the final renders, because like why not? But when it comes to doing the test renders, or like to set up my cameras and to tweak the materials and all that stuff, then it's just a lot lighter to use this to, yeah, everything just moves a lot better like this. Yeah, it's just a lot better to use this lower poly version. And as usual, Nomad Sculpt and Blender, they are both really amazing software. So yeah, that looks really cool. And if I just remove the background, How do I remove the background? What's that button to remove the HDR background? I don't remember. Do you mind if I... Yeah, I'm just staring at this. Everything was so cool. So I'll end it here. Thank you for tuning into the stream. I will work even harder to make things faster so that I can make a lot more cool things. I mean, I really like this shape of the dress at the back, especially with the lights. Yeah, it really makes a difference, like having like proper lighting setup. Like as cool as the real-time lighting in Nomad Sculpt is, like it's just, and this is even before putting in my usual materials. But I don't remember how to assign materials, so I need to figure that out later on. But yeah, it's really cool. Let me see what the other one looks like. This one. I kind of thought that was that it looks different from this. Like this doesn't look like the one that I saw just now. But I'll figure out later. Okay, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.